So what happens when we're looking at stresses on planes that are not perfectly perpendicular or normal to our force? And no, we're not talking about airplanes. So here we have a surface, right? Or a structure, right? We have a force acting perpendicular to this area. We'll call this A naught. We have the same force in the other direction, but then we have this area on a plane that is at an angle. So we see that there's some angle associated with this plane. We'll call that theta, right? So if we were to now cut this structure at that plane, I'll redraw it, and it's going to look something like this, right? Whoops. So we're still going to have P on this side. We're going to have our A naught or whatever. But now we're going to have some area that we're going to call A theta. And we're going to have this P on the other side, but it's going to be broken into different components now. So we're going to break this into a P normal to this surface, and we're also going to have a P that is shear, like in shear to this surface. So now we have normal forces and shear forces because we have this plane at an angle. So how are we going to calculate what those are? So it turns out our P normal is equal to just our P. Let's call this P naught, just for the sake of consistency. So we'll have P naught cosine of theta. That's what that force is going to be. That's a force. P shear force is going to be P naught sine theta, and that should make sense, right? Those should make sense. So now, if we want to have the average shear or the average normal force on this plane, so our average normal stress on this plane, so no longer normal force, but normal stress, we're going to have on the plane is going to be equal to P naught over A naught times cosine squared of theta. So, of course, P naught over A naught, that's just our normal stress if we were looking at this area right here. But now we're not. Now we have this angled plane. So now we have this multiplier of cosine squared theta that's going to give us what the normal force is on this plane. And we have something similar for the average shear force. So tau average is P naught over A naught times cosine theta sine theta. And that's now going to give us what our shear stress is on that angled plane. You can go into the trigonometry of how that works. It should seem intuitive enough. If you want to see me go into exactly why these are the equations, then I definitely can in another video. But yeah, that's what our shear stress and normal stress are going to be when we have an angled plane. If this helped you learn at all, please consider subscribing, leaving a follow. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.